Children coming out of pre-foundational skills will start foundational skills with Math Number Book 1, learning numbers 1 to 5. And based upon the assessment of older preschool children, many of the children will start with Learning Numbers Book 1. Hello, I'm Dr. Kirkwood. I am very excited because you're starting a new book. Basically, all lessons in the program begin with some type of value development component. These either teach the value of the component being learned, the subject being learned, or a spiritual truth, or a value related to work ethic, or relationship with parents, relationship with authority, helping that child grow in his ability to love and to make a difference in this world for good. See the child on the screen? That child is like you. It shows him or her learning by putting forth effort to say the number when he's asked to do so. You determine how fast you learn by trying as hard as you can. So when you're asked to look at it and to say it with your mouth, this is the way you learn. Now please listen very carefully. This is the number 1. Look at it with your eyes. Say 1. And as you say the number 1, you see it, you say it with your mouth, you hear it with your ears, it becomes stored in your brain. So later, when you need to remember it, it's there. Look at it and say it once more. 1. 1 stands for one thing. It could be 1 orange, 1 apple, 1 banana, 1 boy, 1 girl, 1 of anything. 1 is a symbol that stands for a certain amount of something. That's what a number is. Now once more, look at it and say it. 1. Once more, look at it, see it with your eyes, say it with your mouth, hear it with your ears, and it more becomes stored in your brain. You are incredibly smart. I want you to remember, you have more capacity for storing information in your brain than there are grains of sand on all of the beaches and on all of the deserts everywhere in the world. That's how potentially smart you are. Now look at this number. This is the number 2. Look at it. See it with your eyes. Say it with your mouth. Hear it with your ears. And it becomes stored in your brain for later recall. Say it again. 2. Once more. 2. Now 2 is a number, is a symbol that stands for 2 things. Could be 2 apples, 2 oranges, 2 bananas, 2 men, 2 women, 2 of anything. Once more, say the number 2. Again, 2. Now, I want you to tell me what number this is. If you thought or said 1, you're correct. Say it. 1. How many things does 1 stand for? It stands for 1. 1 orange, 1 banana, 1 girl, 1 boy, 1 toy, 1 ball, 1 bat, 1 of anything. Once more, see it with your eyes, say it with your mouth, hear it with your ears, becomes stored in your brain. 1. Now, what number is this? You said 2, you're correct. Say it again. 2. Once more, see it with your eyes, say it with your mouth, hear it with your ears, becomes stored in your brain. You are incredibly smart, and what you're learning is very important. This page is a matching exercise page, and it's designed to help you remember what a number is and stands for. As you know, a number is a symbol that stands for a certain amount of something. And your job is to draw a straight line between the number and that amount that it stands for. Look at number 1. How many things does 1 stand for? Well, it stands for one thing, and in this case, one little duck. So you draw a straight line between the number 1 and one duck. So go ahead and do that, just like I'm doing. And I have a dashed blue line to help you. Now tell me, how many things does the number 2 stand for? It stands for 2, like 2 ducks. So your job is to draw a line from the number 2 all the way up to the 2 ducks. And do it just like I'm doing. With your pencil, draw a line between the number 2 and the 2 ducks. The 2 ducks are what the number 2 stands for or represents. And this is what this exercise is designed to do, is just to help you to remember how many things each number stands for. What you're learning is critically important. Be proud of your growth. Be proud of the fact that you have the capacity to learn anything. Matching number exercises run throughout the entire Learning Numbers series. This is another fun exercise, and it's designed to help you understand what every number represents and stands for. As you remember, a number is a symbol that stands for a certain amount of things, and your job is going to be to build each one of the numbers with blocks. So number 1, how many blocks does the number 1 represent? Well, it represents 1. So you place 1 block next to the number 1. Number 2. How many blocks does the number 2 represent? 2. So you place 2 blocks, just like I'm doing, next to the number 2. And you have just built, with blocks, what each number represents. I am proud of you. The learning sets in books 1 and 2 of Learning Numbers, there is a balance between computer exercise, paper and pencil, and manipulative. And what we want in terms of manipulative is for a child to concretely understand what each number stands for or represents, and in fact to build the number. There are normally 6 to 7 self-esteem exercises integrated within each foundational skills book. In these exercises, the child is going to color the picture while the value development portion is being played. Now please look at the first square. I want to teach you to print the number 2. You see the first arrow, number 1. You start here where I am. You go up and around and then down with the number 2 arrow. And then with the number 3 arrow, you go straight across, just like I'm doing. I want you to do the same thing. Make the number 2. Do as good a job as you can. You know that learning to print takes a lot of effort, and it takes practice, but you'll become very good at it. What you're learning now is to print the number 2 using proper direction and stroke sequence. So, with me, take your pencil, start with the number 1 arrow, and go up and around and down with the number 2 arrow, and stop. Then with your pencil, just like I'm doing, all the way across and stop. This is the way that you print the number 2. Let's do it once more, and I'll help with my pencil, and you follow me. Start with the number 1 arrow, go up and around and down with the number 2 arrow, and stop, and then a straight line all the way across. This is the way that you print the number 2 using proper direction and stroke sequence. Now I want you to go ahead and print the number 2 again by yourself. You can do it. What you're learning is an incredibly important skill. It takes practice, it takes effort, but you're going to get very good at it. Now look at square number 1. Your job is going to be to count, in this case, little turtles, and then circle the number that represents that amount of things. Let's count them. 1, 2. There are 2 turtles. So the number 2 is circled. So go ahead and circle it just like I'm doing. Now look at square number 2. How many little turtles are there? Now let's count them. 1. So your job is to circle the number 1. Go ahead and circle it just like I'm doing. What you're learning is critically important. Be proud of your growth. Be proud of the fact that you have the capacity to learn anything. Learning to count exercises run continuously throughout the Learning Numbers series books. One of the elements of the design of the program is that the young child learns what each exercise is designed to accomplish, and because of the repetition of the learning sets, the child can grow in confidence knowing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. And through the sequence of the learning sets, he can master the system, he grows in confidence, and he grows in competency. After the lessons on pages 38, 42, 45, and 48, the child will be taught typing exercises which will enable them to type numbers 1 through 5. This indicator at the bottom of the page indicates that the following lesson will be a typing lesson. There are Time with My Teacher exercises in the back of the book which enable the teacher to work with the child to make sure that they can print each number using proper direction and stroke sequence. The printing size gets smaller, stimulating small hand-eye motor coordination skills. And the purpose is over the series of the Learning Words books for the child to be able to print each number using proper direction and stroke sequence from memory. There are also pages that will help the teacher work with the child in terms of learning to count.